Here's my question. What are you worth to you? Hello and welcome to the Durham Talents channel. My name is Jesse Durham. We're back for another quick take where the question and the topic that I'm going to address now is, what are you worth on an hourly basis to yourself? What are you worth? Now, this is going to be based off of the first of the 3 rules of banking. The 3 rules of banking are pay yourself first, pay yourself with interest, recapture the money. Okay, so the first rule, pay yourself first. For anybody that's read Behind Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, that's going to be a very common theme. But let's get down to the nitty gritty, because what I can remember is back in, I guess this is 2015, okay, so several years ago, when I was first learning about this idea of becoming your own banker, and I'd read R. Nelson Nash's book, Becoming Your Own Banker, and I was having a conversation with an agent, a professional at that time that was helping me get started. This was prior to me getting my first policy. This was me on my trajectory, getting my very first banking policy, IBC policy. And he asked me something I'd never been asked before, and that's what I've asked you is, what are you worth to you on an hourly basis? And there was such a big pregnant pause after that, because I honestly don't know how well I understood. I mean, I understood the English of what he was asking me, right? But I'd never been asked that before. So what I'm saying is I was such a such a novice in considering such things. So I'd never been asked that before. And there I was, and he had to further prompt me by saying, well, okay, well, are you worth $5 an hour? You know, we started rubber meeting road, putting some numbers out there. Are you worth $5 an hour? And if I asked you, are you worth $5 an hour? What's your answer? What's your answer? It is what it is, okay? But again, let's find out. Let's just honestly introspect and let's find out. Because decimals move left or right, but let's look at that one. Let's run with that one. $5 an hour. Let's say you work 8 hours a day, okay? 40 hours a week, okay? And you do that throughout a year, and you give yourself 2 weeks of vacation in this scenario, okay? What does that look like? Well, that's $40 a day. $5 for 8 hours, okay? And I know I've worked 12-hour shifts before in prior careers, back when I was in law enforcement, for example, but just bear with me here, okay? Pretty straightforward. 8-hour days, $5 an hour that you say you're worth, that's $40 a day. $40 a day times 5 days in the week, $200. $200 for 50 out of the 52 weeks of the year brings us to $10,000. Okay. So in considering that, to begin this process of becoming your own banker, these are the 3 rules of banking. Pay yourself first, pay yourself with interest, recapture the money. To pay yourself first, you have to pick a number. And I don't tell people their number. You got to pick your number. You're going to tell me, Jesse, based off of my understanding, based off of where I'm at and where I'm going, our conversations, this is what I want to do. Okay. I mean, this is just a regular conversation that I have with prospective clients in our process. So when we arrive to talking about numbers, because it's not the place to start. The place to start is in the book on the concepts, because when you know what's going on, you'll know what to do. But when you get to talking about numbers, are you worth $5 an hour? Are you going to pay yourself $10,000 to start your privatized banking system? Are you worth $50 an hour? Are you worth 5 cents an hour? I don't know, right? But again, I hope that this is as helpful and as impactful to you as it was for me. If you've never had somebody ask you, and we've not spoken on the phone yet because I like asking that, what are you worth to you? See, you have to arrive at a number, and it's probably going to be somewhere between, and I'm going to use some words here from Nash as well, being ambitious, imaginative, okay? But also reasonable and logical for you. When picking a premium to pay into a properly structured whole life policy with a mutual company that pays dividends, a policy that you're going to use and own and operate and control as your privatized banking entity, you got to pick a premium that you're going to pay, right? So it should be somewhere between being logical, it makes sense for you, And also, it should be imaginative. It should be significant enough that it's actually going to make an impact for you to start becoming your own banker. And that means maybe questioning, what am I worth to me on an hourly basis, just to kind of break down how to get started or how to add to what it is that you're already doing. And again, the beauty of this question is that it really makes you consider how you think of yourself, how you value your time, because maybe you're thinking like I did. It's like, well, I earn this salary, or I earn this income, or we have these cash flows, and that's what I'm worth, right? That's what I'm worth, right? But working through the concepts of capital having a cost, I mean, I'm mentioning it real quickly, but that's such a big topic. EVA, capital having a cost. Also, capital must reside somewhere. That's such a big concept as well. Everything is financed. I mean, that's the crux of becoming your own banker. Once you realize that everything from your entire cash flows is financed, you warehouse that somewhere. You build an asset of somebody somewhere, whether it's the conventional bank or it could be your privatized banking system. And valuing your time. I don't think I've mentioned that one yet. Putting a value on your time. Sure, you might be working for your employer. Sure, you might be running your small business. Sure, you might be managing your franchise. Sure, you might be, having whatever going on in your investment portfolio. But putting a value on you, putting a value on your time for yourself. Not from your employer that pays you, not letting them say this is what you're worth, not from getting this job done and getting the commission off of that, okay? Getting paid off of that work, small business specialists. You see, I'm going through the cash flow quadrants, essentially, because it applies to everyone. What are you worth to you? What are you willing to pay into your privatized banking system so that you can become your own banker? Because you might say one thing, you might think one thing, but what we do, that's it's that's where the truth will out. Okay. I hear a lot better with my eyes. If you follow what I'm saying there, I hear a lot better with my eyes. When my wife and I got our first policy, we started paying with our very first policy. It wasn't crazy, but we started paying a significant percentage of our cash flows from that very first policy. And we've added over the course of years and time since then as well. So what are you worth to yourself? So I hope that this has been thought-provoking and encouraging. And if you'd like to have a conversation about how to implement the infinite banking concept into your household or your business or your investing, then you can reach us at 828-817-4223, or you can email durhamtalents@gmail.com. This has been a great pleasure for me. I look forward to our next conversation. Have a great day. Take care. That was my stomach rumbling. I wonder if that came across the microphone. That would be funny. I just about choked. Anybody else almost killed themselves just by swallowing? Good grief. I'm right. I'm fine.